What if I told you that it was possible to drastically speed up your path to financial freedom
by following 4 simple Japanese habits?
What if I told you that these rules have survived for hundreds of years and even to this day are still widely used by entrepreneurs? And it's all thanks to this one man, Miyamoto Musashi. Musashi was one of, if not the greatest samurai to have ever lived. Some may even say if he went head-to-head with Thor, Musashi would have crushed him. If you looked up the word enlightened in the English dictionary, you would find Musashi's name next to it. He was a scholar, warrior, painter, and philosopher. This man became a legend throughout Japan, and just before he died, he wrote down his 4 most important rules to success. Not much is known about Musashi's childhood, except that he absolutely loved sword fighting, to the point that when he was a teenager, he criticized his dad's sword technique, and like all responsible fathers, he appreciated the feedback and worked on improving his craft. Oh no, that's not what happened? Oh. Ooh. His father instead threw a dagger at him, almost killing him. Anger problems, right? Jeez. But it was at this moment that would change Musashi's life forever. After his near-death encounter from his dad, Musashi ran away from home and for the next few decades, casually fought over 60 warriors to the death. But it wasn't until his last fight that made Musashi into one of Japan's most beloved legends. After this fight, he put his sword down and began his path to enlightenment. He became a great painter, respected teacher, a wise counselor, and a gifted writer. And again, just before he died, he published his masterpiece called The Legend of the 10 Rings. That's not it. The Book of 5 Rings. There we go. Look, everyone is competing for the same career, the same job, the same paycheck, and these 4 rules are how you can differentiate yourself and speed up your path to financial freedom. After ruthlessly defeating over 60 warriors in vicious sword fights, Musashi saw one single flaw that they all had that led to their downfall. All 60 warriors were blind. No, I'm just kidding. He noticed that all 60 warriors were lying to themselves when they confronted Musashi. They were either trying to mask their fear, or they would be too proud to admit that they were severely outmatched, and they would rather die than be truthful to themselves. The key takeaway is to stop thinking dishonestly to yourself. If you're lacking in a certain area, don't just ignore it to boost your ego. Be brutally honest with all your deficiencies and actually use them to your advantage, because at the end of the day, this is what separates the rich and successful. If Musashi had trouble with his balance or his agility, instead of just ignoring it, he would spend hours and hours training those weaknesses. This is what made him one of the greatest samurais that ever lived. I misled myself for a long time too. I pretended I was an extrovert in school, interviews, presentations, meetings, because I thought that successful people were all extroverts. But after a while, I realized that I could never out-extrovert an actual extrovert. And so I was inherently always at a disadvantage on this specific playing field. That is until one day I became real with myself and acknowledged what I actually am. When it comes to business, making money, or entrepreneurship, many people think that introverts are at a disadvantage. But this isn't true. Some of the greatest businessmen like Warren Buffett, Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates are all introverts. And as an introvert, I'm able to carefully and deeply analyze every situation that comes to light. It may look like I'm sitting quietly in a corner of a business meeting or whatever, but in the back of my mind, I'm collecting and analyzing information in my head so I can actually provide value when I speak, instead of some people who just talk to talk. Rachel.
All right, team, we need a new idea for a zombie game. What you got?
More zombies?
More blood!
How about a storyline?
Think about it strategically. As an introvert, or whatever quote-unquote weakness you have skills that others don't. So you need to flex them. Stop trying to be something you're not. Be who you are and use your strengths to your advantage. One of Musashi's quote that stuck with me the most was, "It is difficult to understand the universe if you only study one planet." Musashi was obsessed with learning about everything he could, from agriculture and art to astronomy and science. Curiosity was one of his greatest attributes. He humbly explored all he could about any subject. He actively learned from carpenters, rice farmers, and even rival schools of swordplay. Northeastern University conducted a study that investigated different factors that led people to earn significantly more than others. Take a look at this chart. They analyzed data from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics to demonstrate the earnings and unemployment rate of people with various levels of education, and found that people who pursued knowledge earned more than 3 times than those who didn't. But it doesn't mean you have to go out and take out hundreds of $1,000s worth of student loans to earn a lot more money. All this shows is that people who kept upping their knowledge and their skills were able to earn more than those who didn't. There are plenty of ways to learn more without spending a single penny. In fact, you're doing it now as we speak. Watching this video is already helping you improve your skills and key differentiators to speed up your path to financial freedom. And the next best way to speed it up is by turning that like button into a beautiful black. Trust me, it works. But it's not only about learning tactics or techniques to building wealth, it's about learning strategy. And yes, there is a very important difference. You can learn techniques and tactics fairly easily. One good video, one weekend course, you can learn actionable tactics, no problem. But strategy is the real difference, and strategy takes time. Strategy is the overarching vision and thinking that encompasses all the tactics that you execute. It's the larger picture on why you're doing X, Y, and Z. And sure, you can learn to buy and sell stocks with alerts and maybe make some quick short-term money, but that's only the short term, and there's no guarantee you will always be profitable. Like everyone who YOLO'd their life savings away on meme investments like GameStop, AMC, and Dogecoin. That's where your overall strategy comes in, and that's the key difference with the wealthy. But it doesn't matter how much financial knowledge you pick up if you don't know the next two rules, especially the second one, which is what transformed my life. Musashi believed in the power of training above anything else. Although the many duels he fought would last just a few seconds long, he spent thousands and thousands of hours mastering his swordsmanship since he was just a kid. He believed that at the end of the day, application was far more important than theory. Just like Bruce Lee once said, "I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times." And this is the point in the video where we need to have a really truthful conversation. Cue some serious sounding music, please. Okay, listen. Spending time just watching and learning about how to build your wealth won't get you anywhere unless you put the things you learned into action. You've heard the term before, practice makes perfect, and study after study has shown that if you wish to retain a certain skill, you must practice. Take this experiment for example. Researchers took data from National Spelling Bee winners and discovered that competitors who used a course specifically designed for competitions like this known as Hexco were far more likely to make it to the final competition, about 94% of them in 2019. This shows that in a highly competitive field, those who practice rigorously and correctly are far more likely to end up on top. Maybe you're an OG subscriber, my day ones, and you watched every one of my videos, even when I looked like this. And you learned about credit building, investing, and expanding your income. All fantastic things. I love you guys, but now it's time to put those things into practice. Want to start building your credit score?
Just do it!
Want to get better at investing?
Just do it!
You can use any trading app, and you can start with just $1. Yes, just $1. Because just for you, Moomoo, our sponsor, is giving you free stocks to help you get started with investing. For a limited time, you can get a chance to win 2 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each from just opening an account and depositing $1 with my link down below. So in total, you can earn 2 free stocks worth up to $7,000 by depositing $1. Moomoo is a trading app, and if you open a brokerage account with it, you can trade commission-free if you are a US resident and are trading in US markets. It was also mentioned in one of the best trading platforms and brokers by Benzinga. The Moomoo app has cool professional-grade tools without being too scary or intimidating. Whether you're a new or experienced investor, Moomoo offers customizable features for you, from the ability to simply invest to easily look at a company's financial data, analyst ratings, all the way to advanced charts and detailed stock analytical tools. Make sure you pause the video and get a chance to win 2 free stocks valued up to $7,000 with the link down below. It's basically free money, so you might as well give it a try. Now this is where it gets really fascinating because this 4th rule had one of the biggest impacts in my financial life. It all starts with this question: what is one resource everyone, no matter their wealth, have in common? The answer is time. And it's the way people use this resource that differentiates them. Musashi believed that if you want to be great, you have to do nothing that is of no use. Meaning, you need to heavily protect your time, and then, and only then, will you have the time and energy to get one step closer to financial freedom. Do you want to know the most BS information you've been fed your entire life? No, it's not that it takes 7 years for you to digest gum. It's work hard and you'll be successful. The amount of times this phrase has been pounded into our heads makes you think that is true, but it's not. Here's 2 things you should do instead. Musashi believed that you need to work smart, not hard. Working smarter means knowing the difference between what is right and what is right now. Furaya Sensei once said, "You don't need to dig holes in every place, just in the right places." Working smart means you know what to do and what not to do, and what to hold on to and what to let go. Working smarter, not harder, empowers you to take control of your time rather than letting time control you. It's what makes you more effective, productive, and less stressed. Second, you need to be willing to sacrifice things to be successful. When I used to commute 1 hour into the office, I would always see people watching a movie on their phones or playing Candy Crush. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with either of these things. I used to be a huge gamer, I love to watch TV shows like Netflix, but at the same time, I realized I could be much more productive during that 1 hour commute. And so I committed to working on my side hustles then. I wrote scripts, I edited my videos, and I compounded this. 2 hours every single day, 10 hours a week, 520 additional hours a year working on my businesses. And all that extra time allowed me to do what I do today. I talk to a camera. I cannot emphasize enough the importance of learning and applying these 4 rules. Although Musashi was a samurai, his rules helped thousands and thousands of people and businesses become a better version of themselves, but the 4 rules are only one component to building wealth. If you don't manage your money correctly, you will lose it. There are some mistakes that you absolutely need to stop doing because it's what's keeping you poor. Check out this video on the 6 money traps that I learned from studying 4 years of economics. You won't believe the traps that you're falling for every single day.